I've chosen planet Earth.
The demons saw Atlantis as a failed experiment and destroyed it. I met a particularly nasty one named Azal, almost 30 years ago.
People of Deimos, do not see this experiment as a curse. See it as a gift. Why are you here, Lilith?
Lord Mathsto, I want answers.
Answers to what?
Why must these experiments take place? I have a feeling you are hiding something from the daemons.
What have I to hide? Do not question the experiments.
But how are they benefiting the daemons?
We are becoming gods, Lilith. Gods.
Gods do not lie to their own people. Tell us. Tell us why the experiments are happening.
You really do want answers, don't you? Yes. What would you be willing to do to get them?
Anything.
Good.
I shall return to that moment and stop him from dying.
You can't do that. It would create a massive paradox. You can't change history.
Of course I can. Zal will live. The demons will not die out.
Rizal, it has already happened. You are the last of the demons and nothing can change that.
I can change it, and I will change it.
If you stop yourself from dying, you will destroy us all. Time will freeze. The universe will be destroyed. Do you want that?
You cannot stop me. Nothing in this world can stop me now.
You understand what you must do.
Yes.
Good. Do this, and I will give you the information you desire.
Lilith leaves and goes to her ship. Mathsto watches through the glass ceiling as Lilith departs.
Now the daemon shall live forever. Our future is secure.
Yes, Doctor. I have beaten you to Deimos. I am victorious.
Rizal, this isn't a victory. You may well have destroyed the entire universe.
Will the three of you stop bickering?
Suddenly, the planet begins to shake.
Doctor, what's happening?
You're too late. Time is collapsing in on itself, Rizal. You have brought this upon the universe. You have destroyed us all.
Then I have succeeded.
If I may, Mathsto, I will need all the daemons in their spaceship, weapons ready to fire.
What?
You just need to trust me on this. I'll be in my spaceship, ready to activate the stasis cube. My command, they fire, and I activate the cube.
What if you activate it too late?
That's a risk we have to take. It's either that, or the universe.
Very well. Go to your ship. I will contact you from the control room.
On my count, 3, 2, 1...
The demons fire, but the Doctor just stands there. Mathsto becomes furious.
You tricked us, Doctor! You have doomed our race!
Deimos explodes.
Doctor, what did you do? You just committed genocide. You destroyed an entire race.
Silver walks into the console room and sees the Doctor, hooking Ronan up to a large metal headpiece and several other wires that are attached to various places around his body. The wires are attached to the console.
What are you doing?
Ah, good morning. I promised this young man I'd find out where he came from. To do that, I've got to run a few tests.
You're going to electrocute him.
Nonsense. Ready, Ronan?
Ronan nods in agreement.
Should I hide or something in case you blow up the console?
The Doctor gives Silver an exasperated look.
We've landed. Where are we anyway?
Aurora Sinastria 3, locally known as Sinastria.
The Doctor throws open the TARDIS doors to show Silver the most beautiful sight she's ever seen. The water is crystal clear. The rolling hills are covered with flowers of all shades. Even the city is made from the clearest glass and the brightest metal she's ever seen. The sun is warm and there's a scent of roses on the breeze.
It's I don't have the words. I didn't think anything could be this beautiful.
I don't believe it. I've done the impossible. You are speechless. The most tranquil place in the universe, this side of the Eye of Orion. No wars, no invasions, no dictators, no evildoers. The last crime happened here over 1,000 years ago. Absolute boredom, if you ask me. Have fun.
I want to travel with you for adventure and excitement. This looks, well, kinda boring.
Nonsense. Okay, maybe not the most exciting place, but no offense, I need you to be out of the way while I deal with Ronan. This is a nice place where I don't have to worry about running around saving people and worrying you will get up into trouble. We'll stay here until I can figure out the mystery of our young new friend, and then the fact that he was placed in my TARDIS has me worried. Anyway, there is nothing to worry about on Sinastria.
Alright, I'll be back before dark.
Well, that is about 31 hours from now, but whatever you like.
Silver runs off back to her room and soon emerges with a small bag.
Will I need any money?
No. Everything's free on Sinastria. Go! Enjoy yourself. You have your key?
Silver lifts the necklace around her neck where the shiny TARDIS key dangles.
Good. Have fun.
See you soon, Doctor. Ronan, don't let him kill you.
Ronan gives a little wave and Silver leaves. The doctor shuts the door.
Now, back to business. Let's find out who you are.
Silver walks among the many shops. The concept is almost foreign to her. People simply giving away their goods to anyone who walks in. She soon spots a place that's giving out what looks like frozen custard. She enters without hesitation.
And what can I get you, miss?
Do you have chocolate?
Marley, this young lady wants to know if we have chocolate.
Chocolate? Never heard of it.
We are joking, of course. It is the most popular flavour in the universe. Here you go.
The attendant hands Silver a large bowl filled with the frozen chocolate custard. Silver quickly takes a spoonful.
Well, it's definitely something I miss from Earth.
It is the most delicious, creamy, dreamy frozen custard she's ever tasted in her life. Then it happens. There's a jerk, a jolt. It isn't physical, but Silver feels it nonetheless.
Marley, this young lady wants to know if we have chocolate.
Chocolate? Never heard of it.
We are joking, of course. It is the most popular flavour in the universe. Here you go.
The attendant hands Silver another bowl filled with the frozen chocolate custard.
Hey, how do you get 2 bowls?
This is some kind of joke. You just had the same conversation like 2 seconds ago about the chocolate?
I think she's pulling her leg early.
Well, either way, enjoy your 2 bowls of chocolate custard.
Sure.
Silver exits the business confused as to what she just experienced. Eventually she decides they must have been playing a joke on her since she's obviously new to Sinistria. Silver continues down the long concourse of shops until she sees another she wants to enter. This is a clothing store. Silver enters and looks around. She sees a rather large woman coming out of the changing room in a bright red dress.
Oh, I love it. I'll take it.
As you wish, madam. Shall I wrap it up for you, or do you wish to wear it out?
I shall wear it out. Thank you very much.
The woman gathers her things and exits.
Can I help you, miss?
Silver is caught off guard and nearly jumps around as she sees the tall man.
No, thank you. I'm just looking around.
Well, if you see anything you like, please feel free to use one of our superior changing facilities. Everything is free, of course.
Was it that obvious that I'm new here?
Well, one does begin to develop a sense of these things over time, you know.
How long have you worked here?
Who keeps count of such things? I think this is perfect for you.
The attendant pulls out the ugliest green dress Silver has ever seen.
It'll match your eyes perfectly.
Actually, I think I'm going to keep looking, but thank you anyway.
Suit yourself. Have a pleasant day.
Silver experiences another jerk. She shivers, but it is not cold. The attendant leaves, just as a large woman comes out of the changing room in a bright red dress.
Oh, I love it. I'll take it.
As you wish, madam. Shall I wrap it up for you, or do you wish to wear it out?
I shall wear it out. Thank you very much.
Something weird is going on here.
As Silver sees the woman gather her things and leave, she is again startled.
Can I help you, miss?
That woman wearing that red dress. How many times have you seen her today?
Just the one, I believe.
And how many times have you asked to help me today?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Silver again grabs the ugly green dress.
Oh, excellent. I was just thinking how lovely you'd look in it. It goes so well with Madam's eyes.
No, thank you.
Silver throws down the garment and rushes out of the store.
Wonder what her problem is.
Upon exiting the shop, Silver begins walking in a different direction, to see a different strip of shops. She begins walking faster and faster. Meanwhile, the doctor is studying the results of his first round of tests.
Well?
Well, you aren't human. Your liver is in a completely wrong position. I was sure you were from Earth, somehow. Oh well.
Earth?
One of my favourite planets. Anyone who typically wants to get under my skin messes with the Earth. I just assumed... Anyway, doesn't matter, as far as the brain scans go.
Yes.
They are normal. No brain damage, no blockages, no micro fissures, no temporal tampering. As far as I can tell, you should not have any kind of memory loss.
But I don't understand. I don't remember, and now you're saying I should?
Calm down. There has to be an explanation. There always is. Just may take a while to find it. That shouldn't happen.
What shouldn't happen?
Did you hear her? She shuddered.
The console is always making some kind of noise.
Trust me, I've known her much longer than you. That was a shudder. An unusual shudder. An odd shudder. The temporal readings are normal. Wait, they spiked 1.7 minutes ago.
A spike in temporal readings could be anything. A time ship, a vortex manipulator, a temporal anomaly, a wormhole.
You know all that, but don't remember where you come from.
Trust me, I wish my head wasn't full of this techno-babble. I'd rather just remember who I am.
I suppose I could see if the TARDIS telepathic circuits could make sense of that scrambled thing you call a brain. Maybe she can make sense of it.
At this point, I'm willing to try anything.
Silver comes upon a large building with people coming in and out. She decides to enter. A crowd has gathered around a central area. Silver stands next to a lady who appears to be photographing the object.
Excuse me, but what are we looking at?
It is the most sacred object of Sinastria. It was said to be brought to this planet by the great god Lilith thousands of years ago. Since that time, the native population on this planet have flourished and received everything they've ever wanted. That is why it is such a popular place, and everything is free.
Well, that is an interesting story. So this is some kind of temple to Lilith?
Exactly. My name is Hastrang. I'm from Granny Annick Free. I've been saving my whole life to make this trip. Sometimes it is said that Lilith will grant a wish. I'm hoping she will make me better.
I'm called Silver. What's wrong with you?
I have a rare blood disease. It's slowly killing me. But doctors have done all they can do. Now Lilith is my only hope.
Well, I travel with a doctor, so maybe he can help.
Trust me, I've seen more doctors than you can count. I'm ready for a miracle. Or I'm ready to die.
You haven't met a doctor like this, I assure you.
Oh, look! It's starting.
What do you mean?
Look! The orb! It's starting to glow!
Sure enough, the orb that only seconds ago looked to be nothing more than a solid rock was glowing a bright purple. It had even lifted several inches off the pedestal it was resting upon. All at once, a jolt of lightning hit a nearby man with only one leg. In a split second, a new leg begins to form from the lightning, and soon begins to solidify into a leg of flesh.
I don't believe what I'm seeing. That is impossible.
The man immediately begins to thank Lilith and offer praise. As the crowds begin to thank Lilith, the orb grew brighter and brighter. It finally begins to dim and lower back to the pedestal.
That is incredible. He actually grew a new leg. It is a miracle.
Oh, hi! My name is Hastarang, by the way. I'm from Granny Annick Free. I've been saving my whole life for this trip.
I know, you've told me this already.
Sorry, but I've never seen you before.
A few seconds ago, you told me about your blood disease.
Lilith gave you the gift of reading minds?
No.
Everyone! This girl has the gift of reading minds!
Silver takes off running down one of the hallways in the temple. She stops to see various paintings and art. She sees one particular painting that stands out. It shows a creature dropping off the orb and the native people finding it. She can hardly contain her fear. She pulls out her phone and takes a picture of it.
Excuse me, miss. Photograph is not allowed in the gallery.
Silver stares blankly at the attendant and takes off running again.
There is no running either.
I'm amazed.
At?
You've had your hands plunged in the psychic controls for a while, and you say you haven't remembered anything.
Nope. It's like every time I almost remember something, I hit a brick wall.
This time, the TARDIS shudders and makes a serious lurch, nearly throwing the Doctor off balance.
Don't tell me you didn't feel that one.
Ronan's eyes roll back in his head, his hands still plunged into the psychic controls. As Ronan opens his mouth, the voice that exits is not his own.
We are coming. We are coming. You will pay for your betrayal.
No. It can't be. Who are you?
This world will burn, Doctor. And so will you.
The TARDIS begins to shake more violently. The Doctor throws Ronan to the ground. Ronan lets out a vile and violent yell. The shaking stops, and Ronan begins to wake, feeling the pain in his hands and his arms from the fall.
What happened, and what are we doing on the floor?
Silver runs in.
Silver! Thank goodness you're back. We've got to get out of here.
That is a sound I don't like.
She's trying to dematerialize, but something is interfering. Oh, come on, girl.
A temporal distortion of some kind, the kind that caused the shutter before.
I may have an idea of what's going on, if anyone would care to listen.
Not now, Silver. This is important. Ronan, can you hold down the temporal compensator drive?
Got it.
Doctor!
Look, I'm sure the planet was interesting. Ooh, food, shopping, all fascinating stuff, I'm sure.
The demons.
What?
Look!
Silver shows the pictures she took in the temple.
Impossible.
That is a demon. Lilith, to be exact. Jenny told me all about them. She described them to me. As a matter of fact, that's about all she could talk about. But I'd recognise it anyway. I'm right, aren't I?
Yes, that certainly looks like one. Tell me everything.
There is this orb they worship. It was given to people of this planet thousands of years ago, so by a god named Lilith. Does any of this sound familiar?
No.
The Doctor goes to the console and presses buttons and checks readings.
Oh, this is not happening.
Not only that, while I was there, the orb came to life. and healed a man right in front of me. As he regrew his messing leg, it was amazing. Made me want to worship Lilith.
No, you mustn't. You don't think about her. You don't give her a second thought, literally. Mastro must have sent Lilith here with the orb thing. A tether! Ugh. He didn't trust me any more than I trusted him.
The voice, that was Mastro, wasn't it?
Oh, that you remember. Yes, it certainly sounded like it.
But the demons are gone, extinct. Jenny said you destroyed the entire planet.
Ah, yes. Well, about that.
I think it's time you told me everything.
I didn't destroy their planet, not technically. I used a very old Time Lord technique. I created a pocket universe. Took a lot of energy from the TARDIS and a lot of energy from those demon ships, but I managed to gather enough temporal energy to lock them away forever.
But why did you let Jenny think you committed genocide? And why did you let her say all those horrible things about you? And its white teeth was it able to turn her so easily?
Listen, the demons use thoughts and feelings to gain power. The more they are thought about, the more powerful they are. They were about to destroy the entire causal nexus. Locking them away seemed to be the only way to keep that from happening at the time. Short of killing them all, that is. The only person in the universe who knew that they still existed was me. That certainly does limit their ability to use thought and emotion as a power source. Even Jenny, knowing, was too big a risk.
So by destroying the planet and removing the demons from time and space, so people would forget about them, and then they would lose power?
Right. Seemed to be a good option at the time, but Mastro apparently didn't trust me. He must have sent Lilith here when this planet was young to deposit that orb.
Earlier you said a tether, as in a foothold in this universe.
Yes, very good. And those miracles you saw earlier are going to get more and more frightening. Because these people are worshipping a demon, they are feeding their power down that tether back to Deimos. And the demon's real power comes from that fear. We've got to break that tether before they break through the event horizon of their pocket universe.
But they've already breached it, haven't they? I mean, they're sending out waves of temporal energy.
From the orb, yes, but they still seem to be trapped. But unfortunately, so are we. The orb must be sending out enough temporal energy to block dematerialization. I've got to see this orb for myself.
The doctor grabs his coat and a small bag. He hands another small bag to Silver, and they all leave. Back in the temple, the orb is glowing again. Another crowd has gathered. The orb again lifts off the pedestal. A man, covered in painful-looking sores, stumbles closer. A large bolt of lightning hits him directly in his chest. Once the lightning finishes, the sores are gone. Everyone claps and cheers. The orb again begins to shake.
The orb is going to choose another. Look!
This time, the lightning from the orb strikes one of the statues at the back of the large circular chamber. Everyone grows silent, waiting to see what will happen. When the lightning disperses, the statue begins to slowly move. It makes a sound that sounds oddly like a growl. The growl-like cough grows louder and louder. The statue's skin begins to turn green and it grows several feet taller. Its teeth grow longer into fangs. The crowd starts screaming. The statue takes notice and begins chasing everyone from the room. It throws one bystander against the stone wall with a loud crack. The entire time, the orb grows brighter and brighter. As Silver, Ronan, and the doctor approach the temple, people are running out of all of the doors. Everyone is screaming.
I told you. This is only the beginning.
The group sees the statue that can now only be described as a monster chasing people down the street.
We have to help them.
We have to get to that orb and cut the tether. That's the only way we can stop the demons from returning. Trust me, that won't be the only monster we see today. Come on.
The trio enter the temple room. The doctor takes out his sonic. The orb is covered in lightning. One bolt reaches out to strike at him, but the doctor catches the bolt with his sonic.
Oh, no, you don't. Silver, hand me my bag.
The doctor digs around for something in his bag. He pulls out what can only be described as a pile of wires, circuits, and mismatched electronic parts. He sets it on the ground and places the sonic, still holding the lightning bolt, in a port on the device. With a flip of the switch, the lightning bolt feeds back in on itself, and into the orb. The orb stops glowing and falls back onto the pedestal.
You've done it!
I've done nothing. Well, probably made them a bit angry, but I've only delayed them. With all the yelling and screaming outside, they'll be sucking power from this planet in no time. Oh, if they can create a big enough temporal breach, they'll be free, and we'll be back to where we started. I've got to get rid of that orb. Send it into the pocket universe with them.
But the TARDIS is stuck too.
That's why I'm not going to use the TARDIS. That's why I'm going to use these.
The Doctor opens the second bag to reveal hundreds of small silver balls about the size of tennis balls.
Balls? You're going to use balls to stop them?
These are not balls. These are transmat nodes. We need to place them equidistant around the orb.
And just what are transmat nodes?
We can use them to transport the orb back into the TARDIS, the centre of the TARDIS to be exact. That should provide enough shielding so it will remain inert and allow us to safely deposit it in the pocket universe.
Are you sure you want that thing in the TARDIS?
It's probably the safest place in the universe for it to be, honestly. Come on, set these around the base of the pedestal.
The Doctor, Ronan, and Silver go about setting the transmat nodes in place. They don't notice it, but the orb begins to glow again. Just as they are about to set the last node in place, a great bolt of lightning hits the device holding the sonic, destroying it. The monster the orb created earlier enters the chamber.
Everybody, back!
Another bolt of lightning hits the monster. It grows another 10 feet. The orb lifts higher and higher off the pedestal until it and the monster break through the roof. Debris begins to fall. The Doctor throws Silver to the ground as a large piece of the roof nearly crushes her.
Thank you. We've got to get out of here. I knew I should have grabbed my gun.
We can't let that orb out of our sight.
The monster, now towering over the city, grabs the orb in one hand. It lets out a horrible growl that shakes the entire city. There is screaming everywhere. Another bolt of lightning screams from the orb and hits a nearby bay. A large monster rises to the surface. It looks like an oversized octopus. Its tentacles reach into the city, grabbing anything it can find to draw into its terrible beak. The Doctor, Silver, and Ronan dart from building to building to try to get closer to the green monster.
What exactly is your plan now? We just can't transport that thing to the TARDIS.
Can't we?
Of course we can't, or it'll tear the place apart.
Well, I don't see we have much of an option.
Why not transport it into space?
No.
It was just an idea.
But you did give me an idea. Quick, we can still place the orbs around it. Then transmat it and the orb.
What are you talking about? We just talked about that. We can't transmit them back to the TARDIS.
Right, and we won't.
And we can't just transmat them anywhere else.
Right, we simply dematerialize them.
And that's it? It's all over?
Oh, I see. You can hold them in a dematerialized state for 51.47 seconds before the pattern reforms.
Reforms? That doesn't sound good.
Transmats convert matter into a beam of energy that reforms at a remote location. I can hold the beam in the lead node for 52 seconds before the matter, whatever that matter is, will reform.
51.47.
Yes, so we will have 31.47 seconds to get that lead node back into the TARDIS and into the pocket universe before the transmat beam reforms wherever the node is.
And that is your plan?
Honestly, best one I've got at the moment.
The monster moves off down the left street. Lightning strikes all over town.
It's going down that alley. If we can place the nodes around that entire block.
Silver asks if that won't dematerialize the entire block, including the innocent people.
Not necessarily. I've just got to remodulate the matter compensator a bit. Yes. There.
Let's do it.
Silver, Ronan, you go around that way and I'll go this way. See you on the other side.
The group splits up. As they make their way around the block, the Doctor stops every few feet and lays down a transmat node. Silver and Ronan do the same. From Silver's left, she hears a familiar scream.
I'll be right back. Ronan, keep putting down those notes.
Wait, where are you going?
I've got to help a friend, now go.
Silver departs down a separate street, and Ronan continues laying down the nodes.
Help me!
As Silver turns the corner, she sees Hesterine in the grips of one of the sea monster's tentacles. It is slowly pulling her along the street towards the harbor.
I'm here, Hesterine.
Help me, please!
Silver grabs a large metal pipe from the side of the road and starts hitting the muscular tentacle with no effect. They get pulled closer and closer to the harbor. Silver can now see the water getting closer. She takes the metal pole and goes to a shop window and hits the window with all the force she can. The window shatters and she grabs a large, long piece of glass. As Silver looks back, she can now see the large beak of the sea monster coming out of the water. She runs to Hasturang's side and plunges the glass shard into the tentacle. The sea monster lets out a horrible scream and releases Hasturang. Silver grabs her and they both run for cover.
Oh, thank you. How can I ever repay you?
Get out of here and stay safe. I've got to go.
There is one more thing I can thank Lilith for.
Don't thank her. Don't curse her. Forget her. For she is no god and no miracle worker. She doesn't deserve one single thought.
Then I'll give my thanks to you. Because the one thing all this has shown me is I want to live.
Good, I'm glad. Now go, hide. I'm serious.
Silver runs back and finds Ronan.
Did you finish?
Yes, I finished this sight in the backside.
The Doctor and Silver make their way and find the Doctor putting down the last node.
Doctor!
Ronan, Silver, tell me you got them in place.
We did, and we're ready when you are.
Go back to the TARDIS. When I hit this dematerialization button on the lead node, and this thing and the orb vanish, I'll be sprinting to the TARDIS. You two need to be ready to go.
If you give me the coordinates, I can have them preset.
What makes you think you can program my TARDIS?
I'm not sure really, I just from looking at it earlier seemed to just put the coordinates in on panel 3 and activate the dematerialization sequence.
Very good. However, I'd rather keep the coordinates of the Pocket Universe to myself if you don't mind. Now, go!
Ronan and Silver run back to the TARDIS to wait on the Doctor. The Doctor sees his friends run out of sight. The Doctor closes his eyes tightly and presses the button. In a flash, the orb and the tall monster disappears. Without the influence of the orb, the sea creature also disappears. Suddenly, the only sounds are people screaming and pleading for help. After a brief moment, the Doctor sprints towards the TARDIS.
Did it work? You have the orb?
So far so good. Ronan, time?
About 20 seconds.
The TARDIS races through space until it comes upon a large gap in the fabric of space. It's a small tear through which a planet is visible. Silver and Ronan are watching on the viewer.
That's it. That's the breach. They're trying to come through the event horizon. You've got to get rid of the orb.
The Doctor opens the TARDIS doors and points the lead node at the breach. Ronan begins to speak again.
We are returning, Doctor. You are too late.
The time of the demons is over. I've wiped you from existence. In a few years, even the people of Sinastria will forget about you. Go back to your hole and leave the universe alone. We've outgrown the need for you.
Time's almost up, Doctor. Get rid of that thing.
The Doctor throws the orb towards the breach. It travels and travels until it passes through the event horizon and into the Pocket Universe.
Well, look at that. The breach is closing.
While we were busy on Sinastria, we were busy sending signals to every corner of the universe. Others will come looking for us. Many others.
Yeah, that may be the case, but in a few seconds, they won't have anywhere to look.
Ronan falls to the ground as the breach seals shut. Silver goes to comfort him.
So there are other creatures out there, and coming to find their home planet?
Possibly, but I doubt it. People like Master don't go down without a fight. My concern isn't about the other demons, though.
What is it?
Well, if they did send out signals, then... Well, if someone else picked them up. Other Time Lords who can actually open the breach. That's a rather unpleasant thought, isn't it?
Very.
Best we don't hang around here too long.
You look worried. It isn't just about the demons, is it?
No, it isn't. I ran all sorts of tests on that young man, and I don't know any more about him than I did this morning. Yet he knew so much. About me, about the TARDIS, about science and technology. Something doesn't feel right, and I can't put my finger on it. The most disturbing part of it.
Yes?
I actually like the kid.